This chart tracks precious metals in the 1920s. Gold and platinum are dwarfed by radium, costing $100,000 a gram. Today, such a foundational invention for nuclear physics and cancer treatment would be aggressively protected by patents and corporate monopolies. But the reality in 1902 looked like this. Marie and Pierre Curie isolated pure radium chloride in poverty, working out of a freezing, unventilated shed. The Curies made a deliberate choice to leave their radium isolation process completely open source, knowingly walking away from a massive personal fortune. Why would a woman who spent her early life marginalized and destitute voluntarily forfeit a financial empire? For the Curies, it was a matter of principle. They argued that if a discovery has the potential to alleviate human suffering, it belongs to the world, not to a single individual. This commitment to the public good was forged in Warsaw. Growing up under Russian imperial oppression and witnessing the deaths of her mother and sister, Maria Sklodowska adopted a worldview rooted in strict logic and empirical evidence. She eventually moved to Paris, finished at the top of her class at the Sorbonne, and met Pierre Curie, a physicist who became her closest collaborator and husband. Together, they began investigating a specific anomaly: why uranium salts emitted spontaneous rays without any obvious external energy source. This diagram illustrates her breakthrough. She proved that radiation was an intrinsic property of the atom itself, an idea that proved atoms were not the inert, indivisible blocks scientists had previously imagined. Proving this required years of physical labor. The Curies spent their days chemically separating tons of toxic pitchblende by hand to isolate two new elements: polonium and radium. This shift in our understanding of matter wasn't just a theoretical triumph, it was the result of agonizing, manual execution. Even after winning the 1903 Nobel Prize, Curie faced intense public scrutiny. In 1911, during the Langevin scandal, the French establishment turned on her. The press exploited xenophobic sentiment. While she was heralded as a heroine for her scientific successes, she was vilified as a foreign threat during her private struggles. When World War I broke out, Curie put her research aside to prove that her philosophy of science could work in the real world. She saw a critical failure in battlefield medicine. Surgeons were operating blindly because battalion aid stations lacked X-ray machines, leading to avoidable amputations and deaths. Curie petitioned donors for funding and engineered a fleet of mobile radiography units, the Petites Curies. She taught herself mechanics and personally drove these X-ray trucks to the front lines. Her mobilization during the war demonstrated that scientific knowledge is only as valuable as its ability to help people in need. In her later years, Curie faced a difficult economic reality. Despite the massive industry built on her work, her own Radium Institute was chronically underfunded. She was forced to embark on American fundraising tours just to secure the funds to buy a single gram of radium for her research. At the same time, she worked on an international committee for the League of Nations, advocating for peace through the open exchange of scientific ideas. But her work came with a fatal cost. In 1934, she died of aplastic anemia, a failure of the bone marrow caused by decades of unshielded exposure to the very radiation she discovered. Her body and her laboratory notebooks are still so radioactive that they are sealed within lead-lined containers in the Pantheon, serving as a permanent reminder of her sacrifice. That sacrifice built the foundations of modern oncology. Millions of lives are saved today by radiation therapy, and thousands more are supported by the palliative care charities that still carry her name. Marie Curie's life demonstrates that the most significant progress occurs when personal profit is subordinated to a disinterested love for humanity.